Let's talk about the IELTS listening test. For a lot of people, it feels like this massive, high-pressure sprint. But what if we could flip that? What if you could walk in with a confident, strategic plan instead of anxiety? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're not just looking at the test, we are cracking its code.
So this is it. This is the challenge. Boiled down. 40 questions coming at you one after another. You've got about 30 minutes for the audio. And just to make things a little more interesting, you're going to hear a whole range of different English accents. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but here's the thing. Every single part of this is something you can train for.
So, where do we start? Simple. We take the test apart piece by piece. Look, you can't win the game if you don't know the rules, right? And believe me, the IELTS listening test has a very clear rule book, from its structure to the types of questions it throws at you. First, the big picture. The entire test is broken down into 4 parts. That's it, just 4 audio sections, each with its own little group of questions. Remember that number, 4.
Now, across those 4 sections, you're going to face exactly 40 questions. The math is as easy as it gets. One correct answer gets you 1 point. No tricky scoring, no weird penalties, it's all about accuracy.
And you've got to answer all of them in about 30 minutes of listening time. So let's lock that in. 4 sections, 40 questions, 30 minutes. That, right there, is the basic framework of the test.
Okay, now here is a really key piece of insider info about how this test is built. It's not random. It actually gets harder on purpose, in a very predictable way. It starts you off with pretty simple, everyday chats. Filling out a form, taking down some notes. But by the time you hit sections 3 and 4, bam! You're listening to dense academic lectures and complex group discussions. We're talking multiple choice questions, labeling diagrams, the whole shebang. Knowing this progression is a game changer for managing your focus.
All right, so we've got the blueprint of the test. Now let's talk about the skills you need to ace it. This is where we go beyond just hearing. This is about turning your ears into active, answer-seeking tools.
Let's be real for a second. This is the part that makes a lot of people nervous. The test uses a mix of accents on purpose. British, Australian, North American, you name it. And if you're not used to them, key info can just whoosh right past you. All the experts agree. Getting your ear used to these sounds is one of the most important things you can do. So, how do you train your ear? You build up what some people call ear stamina. Think of it like taking your ears to the gym. You do this through immersion. Resources like the IELTS podcast or daily practice tools are perfect for this, because they expose you to all that variety. And remember, the point isn't to change how you sound. It's about sharpening how you listen so you can understand them perfectly. Now this, right here, this slide shows the mental shift that separates a good score from a great one. Passive listening is just kind of waiting for the answer to fall into your lap. But active prediction? That's where you use those precious few seconds before the audio starts to read the questions, to figure out what kind of answer you're even listening for. Is it a name, a date, a place on a map? You stop just reacting to words and you start hunting for them. This is probably the biggest tactical advantage you can give yourself. Okay, we've got the test layout, we've got the core skills. Now let's roll up our sleeves and put it all together into a real, concrete training plan. This isn't just about studying, this is about training smart. Here's a super powerful 3-step progression. First, you slow it down. Seriously, listen to practice tests at a slower speed, like 0.75 speed, just to catch every single word. Once that feels easy, step 2. Bring it up to full speed, but don't worry about the clock. Just focus on accuracy. And finally, step 3 is the final boss. Do full, timed mock tests using official materials. See the logic? You build the skill, then you build the speed, then you learn to perform under pressure. I love this quote because it hits on something so important. Just taking practice test after practice test is basically useless if you're not learning from what you got wrong. The real improvement, the real magic, happens after you're done with the test. This is that system. Let's call it the post-test audit. You grab the answer key from a great resource like IELTS Liz or IELTS blog. And when you find a mistake, don't just mark it wrong and move on. No, you have to be a detective. Go back to that exact spot in the audio and transcribe it. Write out word for word what they said. Then ask yourself, why did I miss this? Was it a word I didn't know, an accent I couldn't follow? This is how you find your specific weaknesses and fix them. Okay, one last thing, and this is a small detail, but it is so important. Getting this wrong can absolutely wreck your score. It's all about what happens in the final moments of the listening section.
So please pay close attention to this. How you take the test changes everything. If you're doing the paper-based test, you get a beautiful, glorious 10 extra minutes at the very end just to transfer your answers. It's a lifesaver. But, and this is a huge but, if you're on the computer, you get 0 extra time. None. Zilch. You have to type your answers in as you listen. Knowing which test you're signed up for is absolutely critical.
So there it is. The IELTS listening test isn't just some mysterious measure of your English skills. It's a system. It has rules, it has patterns, it has a logic. And once you understand that blueprint, once you train the right skills, and once you practice with a real strategy, you stop being just a test taker and you become a test beater. We've given you the code. So the only question left is, are you ready to crack it?